questions for Abram Smith.
Abram, did y'all go in today thinking y'all were going to run the ball a lot? Y'all had over 300 yards rushing.
We went in today knowing that was going to be a fight. They run wide zone, we run wide zone. And we knew like, hey, we wanted to be the team like to set that across. Like, hey, we're the better team at running wide zone. So when we went into the game, that's exactly what we wanted to do, and I think we did it.
Abram, what do you think you've been able to do this season to kind of establish that bell cow back role for this team?
I think for the most part, just go downhill, get yardage, and whenever it's time to move the sticks, I think like for me, I'm able to do that. So to be the cowbell or whatever, I think that's my role, and I'm gonna embrace it.
Is this a game that showed y'all's toughness as a team?
I feel like it is one of the games that showed our toughness. That's a pretty tough team out there, and it's talked about. A well-respected team, and they're known for their toughness as well. So I think for us, like I said, we're gonna go out there and we're gonna fight. So I think this was a big game, and we needed to show our toughness.
How much does it fire you up when you're able to run over somebody, basically? I think it was perhaps number 5 that you let, he was down on the ground. I mean, what does that do for your teammates, and what does that do for you personally?
I think for the team, when the team sees that, the energy just skyrockets, and then I think for me and the offense, my energy just goes up, and now once I know I can do that and I can, impose my will, on defenses, I think for me it just gets me going, and then knowing that there's a good chance I'm not getting stopped, and I can be the, the hammer to the nail, I think it just keeps me going.
Your story's been told about being a running back in high school. Is it just linebackers and former linebackers now that carry the ball?
Dillon Doyle got a couple scores today, so I think for the most part, I think it's just the physicality part of it. So I guess you could look at it that way. Linebackers are a lot more physical, and so I think that's one thing we're trying to establish in the running back room. And I know you've seen Trustin a couple times run a couple people over, and so I think that's one thing. Yeah, linebackers are coming into the backfield and making things happen. So it's kind of great to see Dillon out there and get a couple scores.
Postgame locker room sounded like a lot of chants, cheers going on in there. You hear from in here. What was the atmosphere like?
Oh, man, we're excited. It's hard to win in football, so we're excited to go out there against a great team and execute well and just, play the best of our abilities. So to go in there and know that you gave all your all, for the guy to the left and right of you, you're going to hear cheers and chants. We even sing a song in there. So that's exactly what you probably heard the song. That's what you heard.
What song is that, Abram?
I got the joy. It's like, I got the joy. I could sing it, but it's, I'm pretty sure y'all heard it. And we sing that every time we win. So, I think that started like way back when. So, like the Sunday school, yes.
Abram, you had almost 30 carries. Is that a dream type game for you? Do you want that kind of workload?
For the most part, I'll take whatever I can get. They feel, comfortable giving me the rock over and over, then I'm going to get what I can. And so whatever I can do, to help the team, to get them going. If I got to run the rock 40 times, if I got to run, just whatever I can do to keep the chains moving.
Abram, you guys more to play, but you're bowl eligible. So the fact that you guys know that you'll be doing something postseason, what does that mean to this locker room after a 2-7 season last year?
I feel like it means the most. Coming off a, not a really great season, put in all that work and then finally seeing it pay off. I think as a team, we're excited for what we can do. Still a lot more ball out there to play. Despite being bowl eligible now, we still, feel like the sky's the limit.
The BYU played with a pretty interesting front where they put a lot of guys on the line of scrimmage. You kind of had one deep guy back there to contain you. Did you kind of know going in, like, if I can just get through the line of scrimmage, I'm going to have a lot of green grass. I can just get through that initial fight.
Yeah, jumping into it, I think a lot of times once you get to that line of scrimmage, that's always what I'm thinking, at least whenever I get the ball. If I can just get through the line of scrimmage, there's nothing but, opportunity out there. So whenever I get the chance, I get through and I make them pay for trying to fill the hole. And the next thing you know, they don't want to fill the hole again. So that's one thing I think we established in the running back room, which we call bully ball. So, you got a little bully ball like that. So I think whenever I get out there on the safety, I got to make them feel it.
Yeah, as a follow-up to that, obviously the big plays are awesome, but there's a lot of times where you would take you get hit in the backfield and it could have been a 2-yard loss, but you're able to turn it into a 3-yard gain. Do you take a lot of pride in stuff like that too?
I actually do, yeah. I want to, I'll get to the line of scrimmage. If nothing's there, I got to, still either get to the line of scrimmage or carry a guy for 3 yards. I take a lot of pride in that.
Abram, how inspired were you guys by the defense? They had 5 sacks, played well all day.
I think we played, complementary football today. So, they fed off us, we fed off them. So whenever we see them do, sacks, force fumbles, all that, get the ball back to us, I mean, like I said, everything just skyrockets, everything just goes up.
You mentioned the holes. How good was the O-line there?
Oh, man, they were outstanding today. I mean, you could see them up front. They were moving people left and right, throwing a couple cuts out there, just giving me the opportunity to do, me and Tristan to do what we do best. So, today I feel like they really performed, like, top-notch.
Running behind them in spring ball to running behind them now, what do you think's changed about that unit?
Physicality. They're really physical now. They know exactly what they can do on the field, and they got confidence behind that now. So running behind them now compared to then, it's night and day. They're more physical. We're moving people, and we're getting yards.
Anything else for Abram?
Thanks, Abram.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
All right, we got linebacker, fullback, receiver. Dillon Doyle.
Ah, knew that was coming.
Dillon, how fun was that today? Do all that you did.
It was cool. Yeah. You practice for those opportunities, and so it was a lot of fun. I think today was where the preparation met the opportunity. I think a lot of people say that, but it happened today, and so that was a lot of fun to kind of get my chance. But you talk about a sack, you talk about a run for a touchdown, you talk about a pass, and that doesn't happen without the other 11 guys. So I don't know how long the play was on my sack, but that was a coverage sack. That wasn't all me. The run, that was the offensive line. And then the pass, like Gary put it right where it needed to be. And we had a similar play last week where Ben Sims scored the touchdown. And so they were covering Ben Sims. And so it's all complementary football. And we try to touch on that every team meeting. And it's all about the team, team unit me. And so that's really what I want to stress.
Dillon, it's weird to think about the Oklahoma State game after West Virginia and now today. How far has this team come since that game? And is that really the point where the team rallied and said it's going to be different?
Yeah, I don't think it was necessarily like a downslope or anything. I think we may have mishit a little bit, but it's really just about coming back and treating every day like a new opportunity. And so I think we missed our opportunity that week, but we kind of just freshened our mind a little bit and kind of said, hey, look at the opportunity that we have in front of us. And so we kind of played that out, and we've had 2 really good weeks of practice, and we've come together, and I'm pretty proud of our team right now, sitting at 6-1, going into a bye week. We certainly have a lot to play for, and we're just going to take it week by week. So.
Are you officially a two-way player now?
I don't know. I don't know who decides that, but.
Did Dillon play some running back or anything in high school?
So I played tight end in high school. Iowa high school football is a little bit different, so I wouldn't compare it to a lot of the stuff some of my teammates played. But, yeah, I had like 4 touchdowns my senior year or something. So, yeah, I was a contributor offensively, and I love playing both ways. I just love playing football. It's kind of who I am. It's what I've grown up doing. So.
Do you think maybe BYU didn't scout that pass play?
I'm sure they did. They have really good coaches, and so I don't know. It was generally like I hadn't gotten the ball very much when I was going in, and so they were probably like, all right, 5's in, he's not getting it. So, but I'm just lucky to get it. So yeah.
Do you think that this might be a good recruiting pitch to prospective linemen? Come to Baylor, score touchdowns.
I don't know. We got a lot of good players that could have done what I just did. So I don't know. We just need to keep getting those opportunities. So.
Dillon, when you were looking at BYU, do you guys feel like let's attack their running game and then just make Hall beat us over the top? Or what was kind of the thing? Because you held them like maybe 65 yards total rushing, something like that.
Yeah, I think ever since Oklahoma State, the emphasis has been on, like we say on the sideline, stop the run, have some fun, because the pass game is fun. Like you get to rush the passer, you get to kind kind of just run around and have fun. And so, I mean, stopping the run was big. And Coach Grimes came from BYU, and so that wide zone scheme is something that a lot of teams haven't seen, but we've seen it all spring, all fall. And so that really played to our advantage today. And you've seen how well our offensive line has played. Like we practice against that all the time, and so we knew the calls that would work against that, and we knew what we needed to do up front in order to play the pass and have some fun in that game. And then obviously we're not satisfied with how we played in the pass game. They kind of got a few big plays on us, and that kind of speaks to their athletes. I think it was Puka Nacua. He had a really, really good game. And I said that to him after the game, and those guys were all class act guys, like really high character people. And their head coach said, "Hey, like wish you the best of luck the rest of this year to our whole team," and that meant a lot because not that there are a ton of bad people in football, but it's really refreshing to see a head coach that has a big picture mindset and just cares about the other team as people. So that was really refreshing. And I don't know what the original question was. Hope I got to that, but sorry.
How were Grimes and Mateos able to help you all prepare for this game and point out some things and things to key on? Did you feel like that kind of paid off?
Yeah, a little bit. I think BYU is a team that doesn't you always know what they're going to be doing, but they want to beat you doing that anyways. And so they're always wide zone, play action pass, boot game. And so it wasn't a secret what they were going to be doing. And we didn't really need a whole lot of keys or tips or anything. We just had to go out and execute. And that's been a focus for us all year is just, hey, go play your assignment, go align correctly, play your assignment, and go play hard. And so we didn't necessarily need a lot of those things, but definitely glad with how we played the run. And just got to get better in the pass game. So.
You talked about how much you still have to play for this season, but how big of that phrase bowl eligible, I guess you say about yourself?
Yeah, it's cool. We weren't bowl eligible last year, so we're trying to take it day by day. 6-1 is really cool, but you try not to look too far into the past and not too far into the future. We're still an improving football team, and we do have a lot to play for, but I don't think we can play for that yet. We got to play for whoever we have after the bye. We got to play for the bye week. So.
Dillon, the postgame locker room, Abram talked about you guys are singing, you guys are chanting. Talk about the passion of this team in that locker room after this game.
Yeah. I love the team. It's such a cool atmosphere. We have a ton of guys that love football. I sit with J.T. Woods, Christian Morgan, Terrell Bernard, Jalen Petrie at breakfast and dinner when we travel, and they're always talking football. They're like, hey, if you get this concept, what are you playing? And I don't think that happens at a lot of other schools. Those guys come in every day, and they're just so passionate about the game. And hopefully we show that with how we play on Saturdays, the passion that we have for each other and the game. Just with how we chase the ball carrier, the fundamentals that we play with, and we just want that to show on the field, our passion for each other and our passion for the game.
When we talked about your interception in a previous game, you said, oh my gosh, just throw it to me, I gotta catch this. Now you have that same reaction as if you're going into the end zone. Can you kind of just walk us through what was going on in your mind when you did cross that threshold and get those points on the board?
Yeah, offense is a little bit more foreign to me, so there's a little bit more thinking that goes into it, and I'm certainly a cerebral player. And so when I go in, it's kind of just and I said this in my last interview, what's my alignment, what's my assignment? I need to be in the right spot so that Gary can have an opportunity to kind of cash in on the work that he's done. And so there's not really time to be nervous when it comes down to it, because they call, all right, 23 personnel, and you got to go out there and get on the field and do your job. And I'm just trying not to let the other 10 guys down and not let the other 90 or whatever down on the sideline. So.
Dillon, last week, Coach Aranda was more effusive in praise of Gary, talking about his leadership, toughness, selflessness, all those kind of adjectives than I've really heard any coach talk about any player. Can you talk to us what it means, like you're a defensive guy, but what does it mean to have a team leader? I mean, college football teams are these huge organizations with over 100 people involved, and you're on defense and he's on offense. But is he a team leader, and what does he mean leading the team for you?
Yeah, I think leadership is a loaded word, and Gary represents all the positive qualities of that. He's a good manager of people. He's so positive, always positive. He never asks anybody to do work that he wouldn't do himself. And he's always focused. I love that about him. And to have somebody leading our football team that's willing to do the work, and you know how hard he's been working for the opportunity. Like we've seen him grow into this role. And so he deserves everything that he's getting right now. And I'm really proud of how he's playing. And obviously the work isn't done yet, but I'm proud to have him as our quarterback. And I think he will continue to grow in his leadership role as we face more adversity and as time goes on.
Dillon, I think they hit you with a big play. How big was that turnover just to get the ball back and then get it back for you guys? I think that was the only turnover.
Yeah, I mean, our goal is always to take three, have 3 turnovers every game, and I mean we had 1 today. That's not up to our standard. We definitely could have played better there, and so I mean turnovers are good, but we should have had more. And we felt like anytime they run the ball on you, we feel like somebody's doing something wrong defensively, and I feel like that's the same thing with turnovers. There's always opportunities to strip the ball, to get hands up at the defensive line position or a linebacker when they're blitzing, and so we need to do better on that and continue to improve on that piece of our game as we get into some more closer games here. So.
Last month I asked you about Brees Hall. Talked about how great he is.
Yeah.
I'll give you a similar opportunity to talk about Abram. I know you're not facing him in games, but you're facing him in practice, and I know you're busy on the sidelines, but you get to see what he's doing. Just talk about what kind of player he is.
Yeah, Abe's a good dude. I like Abram a lot. I mean, you guys saw him come out and replace Terrell last year, and he was extremely productive defensively. And then you go see him flip sides of the ball and go be productive offensively. And I think that speaks to his maturity as a person. He had some humility to say, okay, yes, I will go play offense after having half a season of extremely productive defensive football. So I think that speaks to his maturity, his selflessness. And I mean, similar to Gary, he's just such a positive leader. And he loves coming to work every day. And I don't think there's anywhere else he would rather be than in our locker room. And we're certainly glad to have him. I mean, you ask anybody on the team about Abram, and they will just shower him with praise just because he is one of our guys. I think he is Baylor football to the core. He's the standard in a lot of ways in my mind. And so certainly proud of him and the work that he has been able to show off this year and the success that he's had. So thanks.
It's good to see you guys. Proud of our team, proud of our players and our coaches. This was a standard game. I think not having stuff from the outside kind of push us to achieve in this game, I think is a big is a big thing for us. Having it come from the inside. Intrinsically being able to push yourself. I think just looking at it from a big picture view, right? The more we can get away from, hey, this was a great game, and so now we're going to be a big fat cat and kind of let stuff come to us, and then start slow in games, or hey, this was a loss, this was something we didn't do well, so now we're going to be way motivated, and just that roller coaster that I think as a fan just makes college football so fun to watch and follow. I think as a coach and as a player, just makes it that has nothing to do with winning, it has a lot to do with losing. And so the ability to intrinsically push yourself, right, and hold your teammates accountable, and really bring your best daily. The best would be what we would call our standard, and this was a standard game. If we could stack Mondays on top of Tuesdays on top of Wednesdays, and it would be our standard versus theirs. So awfully proud of our team for that. I think that was a big step in the right direction. And so a lot of things we can get better at the same time. And so looking forward to attacking that here coming up in this bye. I'll take any questions you guys got.
Dave, the complementary football y'all played the last 2 weeks, does that show a lot of growth in the team?
Yes, I appreciate you bringing that up. We talk about that quite a bit. We talk about team, then unit, then me, and I think there's so many facets and ways that shows up. Just having a team of no superstars, having a team of no no selfish units, right, and of just people backing each other up, like you say, like you go for it on 4th down, you don't make it. Defensively, come out and make a stand, or defensively, if we give up this, or we lose track of someone, or we lose a gap, and offensively, let's respond. And I think it's a team game, and so what allows us to be at our best is guys playing for each other and holding each other accountable and pushing each other to be their best, and I think that's showing up.
Dave, 0 penalties tonight. Is that
How about that?
how gratifying is that?
I think it's a good step. I think we talk about it quite a bit. I think looking at sport as a way to master yourself, I think is the approach. And I think for any type of self-mastery, there has to be a craft that you work. I think the craft, especially the harder the craft, brings out that mastery of self if you look at it like that. And I think football's hard, especially when you don't look at it that way. It's more of like an outlet. It's more of like I'm pissed off at life. I'm gonna take it all out when I'm playing football, and so to kind of flip that around is difficult. And so I appreciate their understanding and their listening and all of it, because it means a lot to me.
Dave, you mentioned earlier in the week that BYU is a physical team.
Mhm.
You expected this to be a physical game. Do you like the toughness your team showed today, both sides of the ball?
Yeah, it was important to run the ball. We have our goals, and one of them was to run the ball and stop the run. And so, offensively, I think it's been somewhere where I think it's a great lesson for them on just, it's the same guys, a lot of them, that really struggle to run the ball, maybe in spring and in fall camp, and it just shows you what confidence can do, and confidence from coaches, right? Confidence from teammates, and then finally confidence in yourself. And we're a pretty strong, confident team in running the football right now. And I think, once you do that, right, other things can kind of come to you, the throw game, the protection. I look at it on the other side. For us on defense, there were times where, didn't know if it was going to be a run or a pass, so we were pretty conservative on some of the creepers and pressures that we would normally give, because we value BYU's ability to run the ball as well as they do. And so I think when you can establish the run, it tilts the game in your favor. And so really proud of the offense. I thought defensively, I think they were able to hit a shot play early, and we were kind of racing to get stuff fixed to stop them. We really didn't do that. Offensively, they kept trying to find new ways of throwing them. And so I think in that chase, they just, the run game kind of passed them by. And so anytime that happens, we'll take it, because I think there is still the ability to improve in that area. But I feel like we're making strides, and we're going to end up being a real physical team on both sides of it.
Can you just speak on Dillon Doyle? I mean, success on both sides of the ball, playing where you need him and making those plays, making an impact, but then also with his success, we've been able to speak with him a couple of times, and he's just a well-spoken, classy young man, and that seems to go hand in hand with everything you're preaching about being uncommon.
Yeah, I think Dillon is well, you mentioned it. Dillon's got a great heart. I think he's very the empathy with him is very strong. I think he can feel if stuff's real or not, and he can feel if if things are sincere and they're coming from the right spot. And I think he values the right spot. I think he is a really hard worker. I think his care factor is very strong. Comes from a great family, and is the son of a coach. And y'all want to root for guys like Dillon. I think Dillon's opportunities now are because of what he's done on the field, but what he's done off, and the things that he is, but also the things that he hasn't allowed himself to do, which I appreciate. And I think, Dillon wants to be a coach. He's going to be a great one.
Just in terms of Abram Smith, what has he shown you? What are those bell cow back qualities that he has that allows him to get 30 carries a game, be effective with those carries?
He likes physicality. I think Abram is one where I think if he had his choice, I think he would run into stuff, and I think he's probably been doing that for a long time. And I think, there's just a difference from dudes that, will look for openings or look for maybe doors, and there's guys that'll just run through walls. And I think when you have someone that has that ability to, or that want to run through a wall and the ability to do it, just that can transform your offense. And I feel like he's done that.
Dave, the sack by Franklin that Petrie covered, that was kind of a tipping point.
Mm-hmm.
What did that tell you about just how big of a momentum swing was that for you guys?
It was a big one. I think it speaks to the complementary football. It speaks to guys rising up and the moment not getting too big. I think the next step for us would be in a road environment with the crowd kind of coming down, us making a play like that. But I think TJ is a great example of someone that's has gotten better and better and better. And I think the other day we were talking about sports cars and Ram trucks and all of it. He is someone that's right in the middle of that transformation. And I think he likes sports cars, and so to kind of transform himself into that Ram truck has been a big piece for him. And so I'm happy for him, because I think these last 2 weeks have been his best. And I think on and off the field it's reflected. It's funny how that works, how when you're not on lists and you're getting to class on time and you're doing all the stuff right, how the on the field stuff works out right too.
Dave, is this the best offensive line play that you've had? I know you'll have to go and look at film, but no sacks and rushing yards y'all have. Is this their best?
I don't know. I think run game wise, it felt like that. I think, and our guys would tell you that there's a whole lot better they can do. And I think, I look at like Connor Galvin and Connor coming up after a big play on defense, going, hey, we got this. We're going to get it right now. And they go get it right now. And I look at Zay, having someone step on his leg and having to come out for a minute and then coming back in and fighting through it. I think these are guys that have been through all the lows, man, and have been in the dark. And I think the opportunity to be on the other side of that is something they're fighting hard for, and makes you want to fight right there with them.
Dave, post-game locker room celebration. Take us through that.
It's like this. That's about it. Yeah, man. It's like this right here.
His song, too, Dave, I Got the Joy. Where'd that come from?
That was from before, I think. I'm not sure. I think with Coach Matt Rule's staff, they're singing a bunch of songs, and that was something that I think the first win we had a year ago, I didn't know that there was like all these songs. And so we win, and then the guys start singing, and I just kind of step off to the side. I didn't know the words, and if I knew them, I wasn't going to sing anyways. But I'm just listening to them. But then we started kind of talking about it, and let's kind of focus in on one thing. And Leadership Council they love this song, and this is a song that Wetzel loves to sing, and we sing it during chapel, and it's been a big piece.
17-7 was the score, and you did the onside kick.
Mm-hmm.
What was it about that point in the game you thought, hey, this might be a good time to try this?
Yeah. So throughout the film study, we had noticed that it was there, and so they were wide, the interior there, and then they left early, and so we wanted to have a few kind of confirmations of that. And so I think we had 2 prior to that, and so then I just felt like those things are best before halftime, before things kind of become a this or that, and then I know with they were aiming to get the ball back in the start of the third. So if we could steal a possession and score, I think we're just trying to find ways of, on offense they're trying to hit deep balls, and they continue to, offensively we would kind of get to spots and not close it out, and so we're trying to get that knockout shot. So that's what that was about.
Dave, more to play, but you said you wouldn't talk about bowl eligibility last week.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you're here
Mm-hmm.
with more insight,
Mm-hmm.
what does it mean though to get to that first threshold for this program in you all?
I mean, I appreciate the question. I don't really see it as like a threshold. I have to imagine, I guess I'm thinking about it now, I imagine I guess it is, but for me, this was a standard game, and this was just to be out of, we're in it, we just don't want to be of it, where it's like, every call where the ref makes get you down or get you up, or, we're winning and now we're happy, and now we're losing, now we're sad, or, weeks after, or something happens on Saturday, and then that kind of dictates how we're going to operate the following week. I think so much of that is college football, and so just for us to not be like that, and if it's not that, we're talking about things that you can't control, then it's like the things that you can, and having your best Monday and Tuesday and all of it. And there's a couple dudes I think that didn't know this was homecoming week, which homecoming is such a big thing here, but I actually thought that was kind of cool, and so it was like by Wednesday, Thursday they didn't know, and then they knew, but I think they're so locked in to kind of let's do the best we can with the day that we got, and so I think we'd want to continue that. I think that will kind of keep the inside and the outside on the outside.
Dave, you go for it on 4th down in the red zone, don't get it. You go for it again right there before halftime, don't get it. Leave those points on the board.
Mm-hmm.
Looking back, do you wish you would have made a different decision? And what kind of message do you give to the team in those moments when those fail?
Yeah, I think that we're going to be aggressive, and I think touchdowns, there's more points with touchdowns than there are going to be with field goals, and I think, towards the end of the game, I think really I think the analytics said on that last touchdown that we scored, I think it was 4th down, right? They said to kick a field goal there, so and that was like on the 1-inch line or there's something. And so we went for it there too. But I think like the ability to to put defenses on edge, right? So that they have to. I think that helps you on 3rd down when they don't know are we playing 2 downs here, or are we playing 1, and then I think the offensively it gives guys confidence that It'd be no different than if I'm up at the plate and what's the count, right? I don't always have to choke up on my bat. I can swing freely, and I think those things pay off. And I think really, to be honest, those things probably we needed to get the thing going offensively. And so, I go back to games to where we take field goals in those stead. And then it kind of becomes a field goal game, and then you're fighting for it at the end. And so I've been on the other side of that too.
What's your read on y'all's pass defense right now?
We have to get better pressure with 4 guys. I think, generally we would have creepers to do that. And creepers it's a 4-man rush, but it's unconventional guys doing it. So maybe a corner, a star, or a linebacker, and there's usually movement with the front to do that. That was way limited today, and again, because of the wide zone aspect. And, when the game was kind of back and forth, didn't want to get into a spot like that and then have them bust a wide zone on us. And so there's a 4-man rush with a lot of too high safety, and just our rush was not what you'd want there. And so I think that is one area we've really got to improve. I think to defend the run without stunts and twists and all of it, which was a fair characteristic of last year's defense, I think we've been able to do that. I think defending the pass, we need to be able to do that as well without creepers and pressure and all of it. And so, we're going to be tested here in a couple weeks with some good throw games we're going to have to build a rush for.
Dave, how key was it to hold Algier to 33 yards rushing?
Yeah, really key. I think that first run, it looked like he was shot out of a cannon. I don't know if you guys remember that run. It's like this guy looks fast and physical. I think he was the key really going in the game, just with their offense and how and the energy that they had. He would generally run people over, and their sideline would go crazy, and then their momentum is set at that point. And so just not wanting that to happen and taking that away, I think I give a lot of credit to our front seven and we talk about our trucks up there and all that, but those guys played big. They played with their hands. They were able to get knocked back, much improved from earlier in the year.
With Gary maturing and the offensive line picking up, have you opened up the playbook more, or are they just executing the same plays better?
It's more of that. I think the open up the playbook, I think, so it's more of we're executing this stuff really well, and so then people are making more adjustments to take our base stuff away, which now opens up, curveballs and change-ups to the fastball that we've been throwing, if that makes sense. And so I think it's more of that type of approach. And so I think the better we are at what we do and who we are, right, the more people will overshift and overplay that particular hand, the more it opens up other hands. And, I think today, especially that second half was a good example of that.
I know they have great respect for Brigham Young, Eric, Mateos, and Jeff. What did it mean today, you think? Is it anything extra special, could you tell?
I think, I know they wanted to win pretty strong, and I know that, they know that BYU is a tough out. I think it's been a while since they've lost 2 in a row. I think that they're a physical team. They're a very mature team. They're generally a team that doesn't beat themselves. And so I think they knew that they needed to bring an A game to this thing. And so, they always work hard, and I think they feel like that with just about all the stuff. It could be a Thursday scrimmage, and they feel like that. But I'm appreciative of them and their effort. I'm glad they're on our side.
Dave, your thoughts on the open week and what you would look to accomplish your goals during that extra time?
A lot of connection with our players. There'll be good, bad tape meetings. So, hey, this is from the position coach and the coordinator. Like, this is where we see you. Here's the things you're doing well on video examples. Here's the things you can improve on. And just meeting with them. And so there's no, I'm thinking I'm doing this while we're over here thinking you're doing that. So that'd be number one. 2 would be self-scout. So we'll have our defense help with opponent self-scout and vice versa. So look at us as if we're game planning us and seeing, things that protrude or stick out that have to be addressed. And then, recruiting would be a big factor. So we'll have guys on the road, going to high schools and high school games. And then the last piece would be, opponent study for Texas, starting on that.
I know BYU had some people here, but this was probably your first packed stadium at McLean. Was that just atmosphere? What was it like?
It's cool, man. Yeah, it was nice. Hopefully we get a couple more games like that. I think you can feel that when you're down on the sidelines. You can feel that when it was third down, it got loud. And so I think, we're working to get it to where it needs to be. Thank you, guys.